Hey everyone, there's 9 people here so far. Huzzah! Oh, 10! Look at that. We're off to a great start. All right, pop in the chat where you're coming from. I'm here in Denver. It's a stifling 93 today, but would love to know where everybody is in the world. The pork green chili is one thing that makes Denver unique for sure. Everything's smothered in green chili. Hey Natalie, thanks for joining us from the Bay. Samantha, Nashville, awesome. Brian, Austin, stoked you're here. David in Sonoma, hope it's beautiful. Minoru from the Bay. What's up? Sarah from Vancouver. Oh, I bet it's beautiful in Vancouver right now. All right. I promised I would give everyone like 2 minutes of my 18 to like show up. So, or 2 minutes of my 20 to show up. Hey, Amy from Chicago. Hope it's beautiful in the Windy City these days. All right. Let's welcome everyone. Yeah, I love the flex. That's a great emoji. All right, so my hope in this is that y'all will participate, ask questions. There's this like applause thing, which I think is hilarious. So, if you're really loving something, like give an applause. But also, toss some emojis in. It's always good to know that I'm not just talking into the ether. All right, let's get started. 20 minutes. This should be super fun. All right. It's me. Hi. Hey, everyone. I'm Jesse, and I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Fluency. We help uncover partner referral revenue from everyday conversations. Before that, I was at Apple for 7.5 years as a sales engineer, and then I worked for 4.5 years in strategic partnerships. Working on enablement, which has become sort of my passion and my professional focus. So if you are loving this, obviously I'll toss my LinkedIn here. I'm going to toss it in right now. Toss my LinkedIn in the conversation. Please feel free to connect. But also this is my email address if you want to talk partnerships at all. It's like literally my favorite thing to talk about. So hit me up on email. Happy to talk. We're going to jump right in. What are the 5 reasons that partner programs fail? So the first one here is, and this is probably the biggest, the one that when we go out and poll partner professionals, the biggest one that you hear about is executive misalignment. So beware of this directive, right? So you're in a, also, by the way, all of these are AI generated images, and AI doesn't do well with words. So these are decoding metrics. I don't even know what that means, but I thought it was so hilarious, so I'm just leaving it. But beware of this directive, right? Our inbound and outbound are no longer working, right? They're not working the way they used to, and we're struggling. We used to have inbound with no problem. And so, we need? We need a partner program. Yikes, y'all. If this is the directive that you're getting, be aware. Partner programs absolutely fail when there's unrealistic expectations from your executive team. Also be aware of this directive. I'm going to need you from leadership. I'm going to need you to generate $1 million in partner source pipeline in the next 6 months. You currently have 2 partners, 1 partner pro, and no budget. That is a directive that will lead only to failure. So partner professionals who have been doing this for any amount of time, right, know that there is a time horizon on the efficacy of partnerships. But CEOs who've never done this, CROs who have never done this, they often don't understand this. Partnerships isn't a growth hack. It's not a Hail Mary. Partnerships is a legitimate go-to-market rhythm, and it needs as much time, attention, and resources as any other go-to-market practice. So what really is realistic? What are the directives that are realistic? And that kind of depends on where your company is in terms of product market fit, but also in its ability to create partnerships at any level of maturity. So do you already naturally fit into an ecosystem? Are you built around HubSpot or Salesforce or Microsoft or AWS or any other clouds? Do you or some kind of e-com, right? Like, are you built on Shopify or Klaviyo or any of the other wonderful ecosystems that are already out there? And do you naturally fit into them? Are you trying to be that hub? Are you going from product to platform and you're trying to figure out how to be a hub in a new ecosystem, or a sub hub in a larger ecosystem? And so what are the real goals behind the push to create that partner program? Is it because pipeline is failing in other ways and this is kind of a last ditch effort to like make things work? That's scary. Is it possible? Absolutely. Is it scary? Yes, it is a reason that partner programs fail. So you have to get really clear about what the objectives of the partnerships of the partner program is and the creation of a partner program with your executives and with your leadership team by asking some of these pushback questions. Why are we doing this? What is the purpose? You'll see that as like an underlying theme throughout all of the rest of these reasons. I want to pause in between each reason. And I'm also like, so I'm talking and I'm looking at my notes, truthfully. But I also want to make sure that I'm looking through some of your comments and questions. And I want to pause at the end of each reason to give you an opportunity to respond, but also ask any questions about, executive misalignment, or share any opportunity or any experience that you had with this particular reason that partner programs fail. So if you've got anything, pop in the chat. I'm going to pause for like 10 or 15 seconds. I know it's that dead air is scary. But if you have anything about executive misalignment that you want to share, or a question you want to have answered, happy to do that now. All right, cool. That was 10 seconds. See, we're fine. Everything's good. Here we go. Reason number 2, lack of clear strategy. Lack of clear strategy. Stephanie, I'm going to get to you after lack of clear strategy, I swear. Okay, this is reason number 2 that partner programs fail. You're going too much in every direction, right? So partner programs fail when they try to do too much too fast. So a real stumbling block is when an under-resourced team, right? This is like the one partner person who is sort of hired to come in and fix maybe a top of funnel revenue, and they're under-resourced. They don't really have a budget, but they're tasked with creating technical, so that's integration and product partnerships, channel and agency partnerships, implementation and service partnerships, and or an affiliate program, all at the exact same time, because there's no real clear direction and potentially some executive misalignment on what partnership should be. So if you're just getting started with partnerships, like choose one and go after it, versus trying to do all of them at the same exact time. So, and that will go back to the expectations of the executive team. So what's the goal? What do they want from the partnerships program? Is it to fill pipeline with highly qualified partner source leads? That's a perfectly reasonable thing to ask for from a partner program. But you probably, if that's the goal, don't want to spend a ton of time on building technical partnerships, right? Technical partnerships or integration partnerships usually are terrible at filling pipeline. They're great for things like retention, because the more company or more solutions that you have integrated with your solution, the more likely your customers are to stick around because it's all intertwined. But they're really terrible at suggesting you as a possible solution to a problem their customers are having. So if you're wanting to fill pipeline, you probably should think about something like a referral partner program, or an implementation or service partner program over a technical partner program. So it's really just making sure that whatever the alignment is that you've created with your executives, whatever the goal is that you're choosing, the partner program that's going to fill those KPIs, hit those goals, and then you can sort of expand from there. All right. So Stephanie, a challenge that you're going through is that you announced a partner program before defining how the ecosystem would work. Yes. Okay. So the partner program was announced by, I assume, some kind of like leadership, and then you kind of had to figure out how it was going to work and fulfill promises that were made. So over promising and under delivering. That really goes back to, again, that like executive alignment. Does anybody have any? Did you have a follow up on that, Steph, or does anybody have any questions about how to choose which kind of program you want to start with, or any experiences that you might have around too much in every direction? That's tough. That's tough stuff. I don't even know you. I'm sorry. I'm calling you Stephanie. Yeah, over promising and under delivering can be a surefire way to have your partner program fail, right? Because like there's so much expectation now, not just from your customers, but also from fulfilling that promise without really a whole lot of thought going into how it was going to be handled. Sort of ready, fire, aim situation. The best you can do at that point, right, is to like figure out where you're having success and focus there, and then like communicate about all the successes that you're having in that small thing. If you can, as you know, potentially as a partner leader or working with the partnerships team, be able to say like, okay, where can we fulfill this promise? How can we fulfill this promise? And then just get laser focused on whatever's working and ignore everything else. And then, tell the story about why that's working. It's probably your best bet. That's tough though. All right. Number 3. Here we go. Partner misalignment. Oh, this is one of my favorites to talk about, partner misalignment. Okay, so are there any agency partner people in the room? Could you just like do the little, which emoji is it? Let's see. I don't know. Give me like a flex emoji if you're in an agency or service partnership program. Like you are working for those folks. Anybody? Everybody here's from a tech company? Give me a flex if you're from a tech company trying to build a partner program. Nobody's responding at all. That's okay. Cool. No worries. I'm going to tell you a story anyway. All right. So there is a very common story with agency partnerships. And when I say agency, I mean organizations that do services and implementation. They're on the screen. So if you like click there, Jennifer pointed out maybe the emotions or the emoji thing. So if you click on the screen, then you should like be able like on the, I don't know if it's not working. That's totally fine. That's cool. No worries. Emojis are not working. And so we'll go from here. So this is a story, I'm sure if you are in an agency partner program, you probably have experienced. If you are building a tech partner program, this is a story you should listen to. So let's see if this is something that resonates. So if you're a partner manager or director from a tech company reaches out to you as an agency partner, agency owner, and says, they'd like to set a meeting to quote unquote explore synergies. So you take a look at the company and think, yeah, okay, I could see how that fits into some service offerings that we have. So you take the meeting. They show up to the meeting and they immediately toss open a deck that has all the greatest benefits of their product and what it's doing in the market. They bring up a case study and another case study, and they show you screenshots of their super cool product. They finish a deck with a slide that says, what's in it for you? And it includes access to enablement material on our partner portal and a 10% commission on the first year of realized revenue. Okay, in the chat, if you can do chat, like give me like an amen if this has happened to you. And I just wanted this, like, this seems to be a story that I have heard over and over again, and it seems to resonate tons with people who are running agency businesses. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure y'all were still out there. This is definitely a thing that resonates. Here's the deal. If you are running a product company's partner program and you think that your product is so star-spangled awesome that agencies should be thrilled to sell it, and you are throwing them a bone by offering them a commission, you're like really, really mistaken. They're actually laughing at you when you leave the room. Agencies actually have brilliant businesses. They're brilliant businesses that have worked for years and years and years, and their customers love them. They're selling high stakes deals to all of the customers that you actually can't seem to get access to. That's why you want them to be your partner. So what makes you the bigger player here? You're not. This is a huge like misnomer that tech companies have this like brilliant business model and that agencies don't. And the reality is the agencies are running these brilliant businesses, and that partnering with them should be a mutual benefit. It's a partnership. They're not an extension of your sales team. So the idea here is like take a step back, recognize the brilliance of agency business models, and then build in conjunction with them or for them a comprehensive service that you're going to train them on, that you're going to maybe use your software to help them build, and then show them how they're going to make more money using or being able to sell services around your offering, and help them to recognize them in public and pay them the 10% commission. The commission is table stakes to get to the conversation in the first place, but it almost never matters after that conversation. So the idea here is that partner programs really fail when there's a misalignment on who's benefiting. It should be mutually beneficial. And tech companies need to do better about recognizing this as a strategy. All right. Anybody have any questions about partner misalignment and maybe how to go about building these sorts of services for your agency partners? David, that's hilarious. Given that, like, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. I actually think that this like mindset around tech companies feeling like they have better businesses than agencies has a lot to do with like the story around venture, and that like, you know, SaaS is the perfect business model because it has huge margins and blah blah blah. And I think that if you, particularly if you've taken on funding, you sort of have this like bravado about you. Let's see. Do I have examples of tech companies that have great supportive partner programs? I think HubSpot is probably the lighthouse on this one. They recognized early on that if they built both a certification and like a meaningful recognition program, that they would be able to build an ecosystem around themselves. And they did absolutely that. So they actually started with their agency program and then moved into tech partnerships. And now they sort of are the hub in an ecosystem. Other great companies that do this, FormStack is really good at it. I don't know that I have any insights Eowyn, but I definitely will maybe talk about that at the end if you don't mind waiting. That's a good question about the Crossbeam and Reveal merger. Other examples of tech companies that do this great. I mean, any of the major ecosystems, so Salesforce, Microsoft, AWS, GCP is getting better at it. They all seem to have ways of they have a wonderful ability to really highlight you if you're doing it right. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely regional, or can be regional based. Let's see. All right. Number 4, lack of partner ops. All right, so does everyone remember this concept of like the marshmallow experiment? So kids were given put a marshmallow on the table and then told that if they wait to eat it, that they can have more, but if they eat it now, they can only have one. So building a partner program is sort of like asking your executives to wait to eat their marshmallows. So if you haven't made any attempt to try to measure what the outcome of the waiting will be, or what is happening in the interim, or given like a at least some kind of like measurable time frame, they're gonna just eat the marshmallow, right? Everybody's right now just looking for like a short-term win, and partnerships by its nature isn't short-term, but it doesn't mean that you can't make incremental steps towards success in your partner program, and being able to measure those drives behavior, right? Metrics drive behavior. And if you don't have metrics, or you don't have a way of measuring any kind of the KPIs and successes around your partner program, there's no way for you to then be able to talk about it with executives in a meaningful way that ties back to the metrics that matter to the business, the unit economics that tie back to the business. And so this, again, goes back to the expectations. What is the goal, or what was the purpose of building the partner program in the first place? And then what are the KPIs? Not only the KPIs for the partner program, or the people who work in the partner program, but also what are the KPIs around the sales team and partnerships? What are the KPIs and this around the marketing team and partnerships? What about the product team? And once you've created those KPIs, agreed to them with leadership, and then you find ways in the systems that already exist to measure the outcomes towards those KPIs, which then gives you the ability to communicate with your executive team so that they'll wait to eat their marshmallows. If you wait, you can have more s'mores. Minoru, you can have more s'mores if you wait. I think a lot of partner programs fail when you just try to pick up the marshmallow right from the beginning. All right. Any questions about the kinds of metrics you might want to be finding? I have seen in many programs where sales KPIs, Brian, wait until the last minute. Like, sales leaders aren't convinced that partnerships will help them to drive revenue, and so they don't put any like quota relief or anything around or incentive around the partners. And so sales teams really just do what they're incented to do, which makes a ton of sense. Their actual livelihoods are tied to those KPIs and those numbers. But partner programs really struggle to take off when sales, marketing, and product teams don't have KPIs around partnerships. Yeah, Jamaica, it's so common. Execs really do think that new partnerships will drive a company strategy, but they're not really thinking about how it incorporates into the rest of the business. And so partnerships just ends up being on an island and unable to really like communicate how it's bringing success. And then it just sort of sits there until it fizzles out. All right. Last one. Inadequate enablement. This is my favorite topic. It's why I left it for the last one. Okay, I want to be super clear about content is not enablement. So partner programs fail because awareness isn't scalable for them. I actually really love I really love this this image because humans are distracted by their focus, right? So as a partner program executive, you have done all the right things. You've recruited partners, you've created strong partnerships, you are communicating clearly to the leadership team, expectations seem to be aligned, but then you get into the nitty-gritty of making sure that like customer-facing teams know when and how to talk about partners and when it's appropriate to do so, and then also what to do once they've found an opportunity to work with one. And this is both internally and externally, right? This is not just exclusive to, I need my partners to know about me. This is, I need my internal teams to know about my partners. And because you can't be everywhere all at once, you do what is the most simple and most scalable thing. You create a one-pager, you create a slide deck, you do a lunch and learn, and then you store it all in some CSM, and then you pray that they remember where to go and what to do. And what do they actually do? They absolutely forget. And then they may remember that you're the person who told them, and so they'll get on Slack and ask you, and you end up answering the same question over and over and over again. Why? Because human beings are distracted by their focus, right? Sellers and partner sellers, people who are talking to customers, are focused on the thing that they are best at and the thing that they're metriced on. But with learning and remembering, context and relationship are everything. It's sort of why the smell of like fresh baked cookies reminds you of your grandma's house, is context and relationship. So being able to create these same memory triggers in business is really hard, if not impossible. So you want to trigger awareness, right? So you don't want them to remember everything about the partnership. You don't want them to remember everything that your company does. You just want them to be able to trigger the awareness that you solve X problem, which means making everything super clear and then being available, right? So the best programs to date really are the ones that hire like armies of people to create regular touch points with partners. And that's both the partner teams that they cover, but also the internal customer facing teams. So partner manager activity is actually a leading indicator, and this is one of the things that you can measure, one of those metrics. But partner manager activity is a leading indicator of partner source revenue. So if all you do is create content, you're actually leading yourself down a path of like wasted time and money. It's way more important to have the relationships and the context, sitting with people at partner teams on sales calls, and then doing a debrief about when you were the right choice or when you weren't the right choice, and then also making it super simple to contact you and get in touch with you. All right. That was number 5 reasons. And I think we have a few extra minutes today. I clearly went over. I'm pretty sure I went over. But I found out that I had a couple extra minutes. So if anybody has time, I went 9 minutes over. Sorry, y'all. I will stick around and answer questions, or you can pop them in the chat right now. But I really appreciate y'all coming. And thanks for listening.